everybody, and welcome to episode number 11 of Diehlman at Halftime, the NBA podcast that tops all others. I'm your host, Larry Diehlman. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome aboard, and if you've been a loyal listener, welcome back. We have much to get to today and not a lot of time to do it. We have 5 sections that we'll get into: a general overview of the NBA this week, and our usual highlight, lowlight, random stat, and game of the week. Let's get to our content for the week. The NBA news cycle doesn't stop for anyone, even if it's New Year's Eve. Yesterday, the New York Knicks acquired OG Anunoby, Precious Achiuwa, and Malachi Flynn from the Toronto Raptors in exchange for RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, and a second-round pick. Whoa. Anunoby has been sought after across the league for a hot minute because of his 3-and-D abilities. The 26-year-old has a player option for next season. Meanwhile, the Raptors get another forward to go alongside Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam, although there are rumors that Siakam might be next on the trade market. Barrett is under contract through the 2026-27 season, so he's not in need of a contract extension for now. Twitter exploded yesterday, saying the Knicks got fleeced. Anunoby is a great young player, but giving up a former 3rd overall pick and a sharpshooter might have been less than ideal. Also, even though the Minnesota Timberwolves are on top of the Western Conference, they are getting some big news. Entrepreneur Mark Lore and MLB legend Alex Rodriguez are set to purchase a majority stake in them and the WNBA's Lynx. With a deadline of today, New Year's Eve, the two will own 80% of both franchises. Glenn Taylor, the outgoing owner, will keep a 20% stake for now. This deal has been in the works for a few seasons, and now it has come to fruition. Remember a few years ago when animal rights protesters were interrupting Timberwolves games because Taylor owned farms that were using inhumane processes and the animals were getting bird flu and stuff? Yeah, that was something. But now the Timberwolves will be owned by Lore and Rodriguez. This episode is entitled New Beginnings, Same Results. So, who's raising eyebrows at the moment? Let's go to our highlight, the Milwaukee Bucks. One word that sports fans love to see in their team is consistency. The Milwaukee Bucks are an example of this. Milwaukee is 24-8, second in the East, and just a game and a half behind Boston for the top seed in the conference. Despite losing in the first round in humiliating fashion last year, the Bucks' consistency is something to behold. Their franchise cornerstones are Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard. Besides the fact that Antetokounmpo averages about 31 points and 11 rebounds per game, he dropped a career-high and Bucks franchise record 64 points on December 13th against the Pacers. After finally realizing that he was never going to get anywhere with Portland, Lillard is dropping 26 points and 6.8 assists per night in his first season with the Bucks. Milwaukee also has other great options to choose from, including Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez, and Bobby Portis. The one thing negative about the Bucks is that they need to win another championship soon. Their core is aging and aging fast. But I think I speak for all NBA fans when I say Bucks Celtics in one of the first 3 rounds of the playoffs is a must. Their next game is tomorrow, Monday, January 1st at 8 p.m. They will host the Indiana Pacers. Let's get to our low light, the Washington Wizards. I could end this section here, and I think you'd get the idea where this was heading. The Wizards are 6-25 and 14th in the Eastern Conference. It must be hard to be a Washington fan, given the Wizards' incompetence over the years. For starters, people on social media thought that Jordan Poole was going to turn into the next James Harden because he would have his own team. It has not gone that way. Washington has a young squad that consists of Kyle Kuzma, Deni Avdija, and Tyus Jones. Bilal Coulibaly was their top draft pick this year, and he played with Victor Wembanyama overseas. except Koulibaly is nowhere near Wembanyama's skill set. But the Wizards just cannot get their stuff together. Just like we discussed Damian Lillard leaving Portland a few moments ago, Bradley Beal finally had enough with Washington and is now with Phoenix. Washington also isn't the most attractive free agent destination. To rub more salt in the wound, they haven't been past the second round, ready for this one, since the 1978-79 season. 45 years when they were the Washington Bullets. On second thought, maybe moving them to Northern Virginia wouldn't be a bad idea. A fresh start might be what the doctor ordered. Their next game is today, Sunday, December 31st at 3 p.m. They will host the Atlanta Hawks. Now let's go to our random stat. Since Christmas just ended, I'll give you a festive analogy. You know how Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer goes down in history in the classic song because of his red nose? Well, the Detroit Pistons have been on that same pathway of going down in history. And I mean down. The Pistons finally ended their 28-game losing streak, which is tied for the longest in NBA history. They share that burden with the Philadelphia 76ers, who lost 28 straight across the 2014-15 and the 2015-16 seasons. The Pistons already have the single-season record. The other teams in the top 5 are the Sixers and the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Sixers and Cavs are each listed twice, by the way. They are now tied for the second longest losing streak in a single season with 26. Cleveland also lost 24 straight across the 1981-82 and the 1982-83 seasons. Philadelphia is only on this list because those were the process days when the team was intentionally losing to get better draft picks. Joel Embiid was one of the only successful ones. The Cavs stunk in the early 2010s because LeBron James went to Miami to ring chase. Detroit is just awful. Wingstop is looking like a genius for their promotion of free wings for every Pistons win. I was seeing the memes yesterday like pray for the Wingstop workers tonight because the Pistons had won a game. Let's see if January is a new beginning or brings the same results. Finally, let's go to Game of the Week. For this week's Game of the Week, let's do Boston Celtics at Oklahoma City Thunder. This game is on Tuesday, January 2nd at 8 p.m. Boston and Oklahoma City are two of the top teams in their respective conferences. Both squads have young cores that are sure to put on a show for Tuesday's matchup. The Thunder have stars like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Rookie of the Year candidate Chet Holmgren in their arsenal, giving them a top seed in the West and keeping them right behind Minnesota for first place. Meanwhile, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are always looking to wreak havoc for opposing defenses. The Celtics are steamrolling the East. This is the first of two meetings between the two, but they won't meet in Beantown until April. It's a good way to begin 2024, though. Give me the Thunder, 105-103. Well, that's all the time we have for today. If you haven't already, make sure to follow me on social media. I have 2 Twitter accounts and 2 Instagram accounts. The podcast accounts are under @Diehlman_NBA for both Twitter and Instagram. My personal Twitter is @LarryDiehlman18, and my personal Instagram is @Mr_sports18. They are also in the description on SoundCloud. And don't forget to spread the word about Diehlman at halftime. See you next time, fellow Hoops fans.